Welcome to Brand Lover, honest, real, and lively conversations for flourishing entrepreneurs and budding business owners on a mission to cultivate a heartfelt brand that connects with their purpose-driven mission. My hope is that you walk away feeling inspired and refreshed with a weekly takeaway in your back pocket that you can apply to your life or business. So we are currently in week 3 of my live Brand Alchemy Brand Foundation program. And 2 days ago, I wrapped up a coaching call with my students, and there was a question asked, or it was more like a concern that was expressed that comes up quite frequently, but it may not be something that you would consider. So the fear or concern was, so this beautiful lady, she's starting her business. She hasn't done anything to start promoting herself yet. She's doing, ticking all the right boxes and to build a strong brand before she starts marketing, which is like, I'm just, oh, it's amazing. So good. So first of all, she's in the right place. Second of all, she said, we were talking about market research, and she said that she'd been talking to a lot of people, and she was worried that her business was going to blow up and that she wouldn't be able to cope with it, that she would be too busy in her new business. And even though we didn't explore it a huge amount in the call, I was really, it really sat heavy on my heart afterwards. And it was something that I would just love to dissect here on the podcast and talk about fear in general, because when we make a decision to do something, when we are in the process of up-leveling, when we are stepping outside of our comfort zone, we are opening ourselves up to be vulnerable to new thoughts and fears, and we start putting restrictions on ourselves to try and make ourselves feel safe. So, you may relate to this sort of, you start, let's just say, using this example of starting a business as this beautiful lady is doing, you decide to start your business and, you start to actually take some action. Is what happens is that you might find yourself feeling some resistance, some internal resistance, because your mind is trying to protect you, it's trying to keep you safe. As humans, we like everything to be consistent and predictable. And then as soon as we go and do something that's outside of our zone of comfort, what we're used to be doing, what we're expected to be doing, what society's expecting of us, we're like, the radar goes off and we start to sort of make excuses for ourselves and put these limitations on ourselves and think, oh, maybe I will just do this, or maybe I won't, go as far as I was hoping to, and maybe it will be easier if I do this, or, and this comment that was made is that I'm worried that I'm going to be too busy came up. And first of all, there's no real way that we can predict these things, but we tend to, have these irrational fears. And I'm here to help you alleviate those, whether they're fears of success, which is actually a real thing. Fear of success or fear of failure, they're almost the same thing. They're almost present in the same way. And it's really interesting if we can just separate ourselves and take a step back and analyze what's happening and why am I thinking this way? Why am I feeling this way? And get to the root of the problem. That will help to overcome these thoughts and feelings that you're having. So I'm going to share 3 things that are going to help you overcome the fear of success or, the fear of failure, which is also incredibly real. This is the thing that I want to point out, is that fear, it feels real, okay? Like it's actually, it can evoke a physical response. And so it's important for us to really work through these feelings and emotions so that we're not inhibiting
our success, and we're not putting limitations on ourselves and limiting our own potential, because you've got so much to offer the world and you have got such a gift to share. And I'm excited, I'm excited to be here as just a small part of your journey and getting you there. So the first suggestion or tip that I have for you that's really helped me overcome these things, because every time you elevate yourself, every time you go to a new level in your business, you're going to be facing some demons, and it's inevitable. And so I've come up with my own strategies, but hopefully they help you as well. So number one, make decisions in your business and your life surrounding your business for your future self. You know how sometimes you make an extra serve of spaghetti bolognese to freeze, or like a double batch of soup, or you prepare the kids' lunch boxes the night before and they're all waiting for you for the next day. You know that your future self is going to be high-fiving your past self and doing a little happy dance, and just being like, yes, nailed it. Thank you so much, past self. That's what I need you to be thinking when you're making decisions in your business. That's what's going to help you to grow, and it's going to help you to overcome all of these thoughts and limitations. So just have a think about what you can do now that's going to shape the future of your brand. If you are anticipating a high growth period, what can you do to set up now? What contingency plans can you put in place that are going to make your future self feel like, a little bit more calm and collected, if that is the case, like that they know that it's almost just like they've got a safety net, like a trampoline waiting at the bottom of the building if everything just goes haywire. What contingency plan can you put in place if there's something that you're fearful of happening? What can you do now to alleviate the fear of that happening in the future? So also just don't get caught up in what's happening now and what your business looks like now, or what your brand is, shaped to be now. What you're looking at is how you want your brand to be shaped in the future. So anticipate what challenges you might face. If these are causing you to have a fearful reaction, how can you sort of go through the scenarios, and, even if you're not physically engaging or putting things into plan now, because you don't need to, because these things are imaginary, what would it look like? How can you actually face those fears head on in the future? So, don't get caught up in the feeling and the emotion of the fear. Analyze the fear and think, okay, well, if that happens, it's figure outable, and how can I actually, mentally prepare for that, if that does happen. There are going to be challenges in your business. You cannot anticipate all of them. Sometimes it's just time to jump. Okay, so the second one I have is to focus on humility. Take the focus off yourself and how, situations and challenges affect you as a person. If you take the focus off yourself and simply focus on serving and lifting your people up and helping them, fulfill their needs, impact how they're living their life, give them, just even if it's just something as small as having a positive impact on one moment of their day. Depending on what your product or service is doing, what's the impression that you can leave with them? And sort of take the pressure off yourself, but how can you actually make their world better? So commit to serving your people no matter what's going on in your world. We can get bogged down by our own circumstances. There's no question. We can have self-pity parties if things aren't going our way. We can easily get caught in that downward spiral of, why is this happening to me, etc., etc. But in our business, if we take that focus away and stay humble really focus on the core of why our brand exists, to serve others. Then, even if it takes a while to build up your brand and your business, even, like if you're showing up with humility, even if your business does explode and you're overwhelmed, you're still going to make it work because you are serving people. There is a solution to every person. And if busyness in your business is the problem that you're fixated on or you're fearful of, think about how you can make it work for you. Like, how can you work through that? Even if you find yourself in a state of busyness now, what can you do to consolidate areas or outsource certain things? All of these things are figure outable. And the fears that we often have in our businesses are easily fixable if we just allow ourselves to follow the path to get, back on track. I sort of feel like if there's something that you can control, then you can spend your time and energy on it to get it back on track. If this is something that's out of your control, particularly if it's something that you're just worried about happening, there's no point worrying about it. There's no point worrying about things and giving our time and energy to things if they haven't happened yet. So, in a sense, we do just need to focus on what we can control and release what we can't control. So don't write yourself off before you even get started, before you even get anywhere. You can do this. Okay, so the last little tip that I have is to assume that you've already achieved all of the success that there is to have, whatever success means to you. I'm a huge advocate for creating your own version of success and living that out day to day, and embodying that. So embody the person that you want to create, that you want to become, that you just desire to be, that the lifestyle that you desire. Just sort of step into that persona and assume that you have already achieved that success, because you put on that persona, you put on that hat, and all of a sudden you've got nothing to prove to anybody. And it lifts this massive weight of expectation and attachment that you have to how your business is performing at the moment. And it's sort of, if you have already come through a whole bunch of challenges and just assume that you had, like, just pretend, just role play, you can achieve anything. You won't even bat an eyelid if you're experiencing a busy phase in your business or your business explodes. You will know exactly what to do and how to handle it. One of my mentors at the moment is, like, he's a self-made billionaire. And now, like, he's had all the success, he's made all the money, like, he's rich, he's more than happy to express that as well. But now that he has achieved all that, he's simply focused on helping others become better, to become better versions of themselves, to build better businesses, and really elevate how they're living their life, to fulfill their dreams and to reach that level of excellence. He doesn't care what anybody else thinks of him. He does not give a something. I'm not going to go there. This is a clean podcast. He doesn't care because he has already achieved business success on multiple levels. Put on that hat and embody that, like, embrace what that means. And just let those fears melt away, because if you have that mindset and, anticipate what it's going to feel like to have it been through all of those challenges, that you've got all the tools and resources that you need to overcome whatever fears you're experiencing at the moment. And I just wanted to remind you that, these feelings, overwhelm, worries, imposter syndrome, comparisonitis, all of these things are completely normal. They are expected. And even, even bigger brands or people that you see in your industry who are, you think they're killing it, every single new phase that they go through, every single challenge that they face, I guarantee you that they're going to be experiencing fears and anxieties and, and what ifs. So, I hope that that's helped you, because I just want you to know that it's not just you. Like, these are things that every single business owner goes through. Business is the biggest personal development journey you will ever face. And I'm excited for you, because if you can work on your own strategies and you can, it's like flexing a muscle. Once you learn to identify what these feelings and emotions are, why they're here, why they're coming, like why you're going through them. And it's usually because it's a transitionary period. You're doing something you've never done before. You're outside your comfort zone. Then it's making you vulnerable to those feelings, as we chatted about at the start. You can then learn what helps you. So I'm sort of shared today what helps me get through these things. And I hope that, even if you take on board one of these strategies and it helps you to see things in a new light, or even if you just start to practice these things, making decisions from, for your future self, as a gift to your future self, focus on humility and serving others. And then the third one being, embody that person that you really want to create, that, that end goal, not just, making decisions for your future self, but just, who do you need to be? How do you need to show up, to give you that confidence to put strategies in place that are going to help you to build a solid brand that in turn helps you to grow your business. So I would love to hear from you if you resonate with anything I'm saying. If you would like to share one of your own strategies with me, I'd love to hear from you. Come and have a chat with me on Instagram, Rachel Writer _brand mentor. Share this episode if you think any of your business friends would love to hear it. If they're going through something and they need a little loving nudge in the right direction, that's what I'm here for. So yeah, thanks so much, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this week's episode of Brand Lover, take a screenshot of wherever you're listening and share your biggest takeaway on Instagram or Facebook, and don't forget to tag me. I'd love to give you a shout out and thank you personally. Also, feel free to subscribe and leave a review to help the Brand Lover podcast reach more heart-aligned entrepreneurs just like yourself. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.